The DJ.
Welcome again to another session of Join the Chat. This is the place where every single voice matters, where your opinions are important, where you're empowered to express yourself, and we try to offer a free and an open space to speak, also to be heard. So we got a mandem, the gentleman, the men's production, the men's session tonight. Joining me is Joe, Ghislaine, and Andre. I see Andre up here twice, so he's special. So Andre, 2 time. What's up, gentlemen? How's everyone doing tonight?
Hello, Ren. Thank you so much for having us once again. Feeling good. Missing Kimmy, but I think we'll be able to do all right without her.
We are missing her. We are missing her for sure. There's no replacing Miss Fabulosity, but we got to do what we got to do, ensure that we can hold the fort down without Mama Bear, right? No doubt. It looks like everybody kind of got a little freshed up. I got my little outline, my taper going. Joey's nice and fresh. Gislaine's looking extra shiny. Yeah, I love it. Andre, he goes to the barber every time because he has that bald head. So it's the daily barber. So listen, man, let's jump into things, right? So next session, we're talking about natural versus Western medicine. So I just want you all to tell me a great experience that you've had with a doctor or in the medical field, and tell me a negative experience that you've had. Let's start off with Joe.
Ooh, I can't really think of any negative experiences I've had with a doctor, or overly positive ones. I don't know. I guess when I had my children, the doctors at the hospital were fantastic. I actually gave birth to I birthed my 2 sons, so they allowed me to, take them out from the mother and be the first ones to hold my sons.
Oh, wow.
So I think that's a really cool experience, to be the first person to hold your child and then pass the child to your mother. That was very exciting for me. That was a great experience.
Nice.
Did you cry on with the first one?
No, I didn't cry at all. I actually wanted to hold him up like
Simba.
Like Lion King. My
Yeah.
wife was like, I will kill you if you do that. More just nerves. That's the only reason why I didn't do it. I didn't want to like slip and be all cocky and the kids on the ground dangling from the
His umbilical
cord. Dad of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if they're doing that as much anymore, allowing like the fathers to come down and like actually grab the baby. I've been hearing that they're kind of steering away from that. I don't know if it's just pandemic or
Not with the COVID. Not with the COVID.
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Now I have a friend of mine who recently gave birth, so he couldn't do it. So there are so many restrictions. So yeah.
What about you, Jim? You have any overly positive experiences or some negative experiences in the medical world?
Not really. Not really. I'm like, I mean, same as Joe, although I don't have children yet. The only one that I can think of was so at that time, I mean, I was living in Gatineau and I was working in Ottawa. And so it was during the work, for some reason, I started like feeling like, with a headache and I wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
And usually I go to an apple tree, those walking clinic apple tree. And
Right.
but that day for some reason I said, you know what, I'm heading home. Let me just go to where I used to live in Gatineau. There was like a little walking clinic there, so I'm like, let me just head there because it's actually 5 minutes away from my house, right? It was in Quebec, in Gatineau. So I go there. I got there around 2:30 p.m., right? And there was nobody. Like there was nobody waiting. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So I'm gonna be the first one. They're gonna welcome. They're gonna take, right. So I waited for like 5 minutes, and then I talked to the receptionist. I'm like, hey, do you have any doctor ready? And she asked me, did you take any appointment? I'm like, no, there's no appointment because this is a walk-in clinic. She's like, I mean, and then she told me, she's like, actually, we already passed 2 p.m., past the quota. Apparently, they had like a quota they had to reach, and they already reached that quota, and they couldn't accept anybody else. The only people they could accept were people who already booked it.
Appointments. Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I'm like, dude, I wasn't dying, but I'm like, I'm sick right now. So you can't just, take me. They're like, no, unfortunately. So I had to travel back to Ottawa, go to a walk-in, upper tree walk-in clinic. And it took me. And I think that was the only time that I had like a bad experience. Yeah, that was it. But never had a great or bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you. I think my only negative experiences have always been just the waiting time, right? You try to get into a spot, and then they tell you got to come an hour early or half an hour early, and if you want to cancel, you got to do it 48 hours before the appointment, and then you get there for the scheduled appointment, and then you're waiting for another hour. It's just like,
True.
why give me an appointment if you're not going to abide by it?
There we go.
Get out of here. But I remember being a kid, my positive experience is like, I used to go there and get, the shots. I had asthma when I was coming up. So I used to get needles and I loved it. Like that was my joy, is going and then just watching them insert the needle in me. And, that was me as a kid, so I kind of grew out of that.
Yeah.
I don't be sticking needles into myself.
Good. That's a good habit to drop as you get older.
Yeah, no doubt. I just want to let all know that I've matured a lot. So
Question though, talking about
I don't know if you can see that scar on my thumb. Here, fix this. They're like all the way across.
yeah.
So like I went to Apple Tree to get that sewn up. I cut it when I was at work, and like it was like hanging off. It was pretty gross. And I told the nurse, I asked the nurse, I'm like, are you okay with like seeing this? Like it's like pretty hanging. She goes, young man, I've sewn men up from the war. Your thumb is nothing. I laughed so hard. It was so funny. Just like calling me a little wuss basically for my thumb.
You thought you were gonna walk in there and give her something that she's never seen
Yeah.
before. Oh my God, she's gonna have to retire or something.
She had like a thick Russian accent and just like, listen here, you little puke.
Oh
She's
man,
seen
oh man.
war. She has seen war.
Have,
Yeah.
have any of you experienced medical care outside of North America? I know we're talking about like natural versus Western. Have you been to any hospitals anywhere else, maybe on vacation or something like that, or just in your hometown? Like, have you ever experienced medical care abroad?
Yeah, back home when I used to live back home, once I had malaria, which is really bad. Like I don't wish to anybody to have it. And that case, I think that period was really bad for me, so I had to go to the hospital. The hospital I went to, they were not. I mean, they were okay. They were really good compared to the standard, I'll say, from back home. So they took me. They were on time. They gave me medications, and so yeah, it was a good experience. Actually, it was a good experience. But I have other people who have had bad experience, and they went there. They got the wrong. Um, I don't know in English if you call it prognosis.
Mm.
Yeah, prognosis, and then let's say they would say you have malaria, but this person end up dying, and when they did the autopsy, the person didn't have malaria; they had something else. So yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. I feel like I know in Jamaica, it's just like it's not so much that the medical care isn't the the people who are working in the facility. It's not that they're not great, but their technology is so behind, right? So when it comes time to try to serve people or diagnose people, it's challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let me jump into some of these questions. So, first question that I have is: do you have any family remedies that you still use today to get over certain ailments? You know, colds, flus, bruises, indigestion, headaches, toothaches, anything like that? Do you guys have any family remedies that you use to get over ailments that you have?
Hmm.
I like I
Good.
crush echinacea, garlic, vitamin C if I'm feeling sick. I just
Okay.
pound that stuff back. I try not to take medicine even for a headache. I think the biggest thing I take is like Advil liquid gels. I find that works the best for if I have a really bad headache. But I really try to stay away from using as much as I can. Even for my children, if they're sick or they get hurt, I try not to give them like Advil or Tylenol unless like they have a fever or something. But for your children, you're kind of a softie. You want to make sure they're feeling okay.
Right, right. What about you, Andre? I see you're live and direct with us now. Do you have any family remedies that you use to this day to cure ailments such as colds, flus, toothaches, headaches, anything like that? I'm gonna swing it back to you, just like.
The technical difficulties.
Um, there's one, especially when you have colds. We used to, and I still use sometimes when
I'm
I
having a
really have
problem
a
here with you,
cold.
but I'm assuming I ask if I have
Andre,
any remedies that I use to. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it's family kind of remedy because I don't think my family invented it. It's more uh, cultural remedies, what we use. So, for example, you have the common cold or the flu. You will use different remedies. For example, the rum and the lime. You hearing me?
yeah, man, we got you. I think you're just a little bit delayed, though.
You hearing me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man, we have you. We have you. We have you.
I love how Ren is doing he's doing it in slow motion.
Hello?
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Internet and technology seems to be an issue again tonight for another one of our hosts and our panelists. Ghislaine, take it
I'm
over.
hearing you guys. I can't hear
We'll
nobody.
just we'll mute Andre for the little bit. Ghislaine, go ahead. What about family remedies that you have that you might use to this day?
I wouldn't call a family remedy, but when I have a cold and it's really usually when I have a cold, I don't take any medicines, any drugs, anything. I just keep drinking like hot liquors and a lot of water, right? But if it stays for like 3 days, what I usually do is I buy Vicks. I don't know if you remember those little Vicks, and then it's kind of like a cream, and then you apply it on your chest, on your throat, and usually, and then you heat up as well. Especially if it's in the winter, you put the heat up on, cover yourself, and you sweat it out, man.
Sweat it out, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I want to know, do you cure faster if somebody else rubs the Vicks on you, or when you rub it on yourself, is it the exact same recovery time?
It's same recovery time, man. I would say it's the same recovery time.
Is it the same price? Is it the same price when you rub it on yourself, or you have to get someone else to rub it on you?
Good question, Joe. Good question.
Yeah, I love it.
It really depends on your status, Ren. It depends on your status. Are you single?
On whose status?
I mean, whoever, like, who's rubbing, like, if you're single at that time, you have to rub it on yourself. So,
and if you're married and you get someone else to rub it on you, it costs triple.
Oh shit!
Yeah, because you lose half right away.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, man. We have a family remedy, and it's just called Ray and Nephew Rum. It works for everything. You know,
Ray and Nephew?
100 proof.
Ray and Nephew, 100 proof, man. You take it you take a shot, everything else goes away, man. No matter what. A friend of
mine made me some wine with Ray and Nephew and ginger. What's it called?
Ray and Nephew.
Yeah, but with ginger.
Overproof rum. I don't know what ginger
Andre,
beer.
Yeah, Andre, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Or sorrow.
General. Sorry.
Yes, that's it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
I just said that. How come when Andre says it, all of a sudden it's acceptable? When I said sorrow, you were looking at me, Joe, like I had two heads. What's going on?
It was the accent. I didn't believe you.
Well, no, I'm not authentic enough for you.
Bro, yours was like the generic version.
He was
authentic. When Andre said it, I thought like bag juice and Digicel credits. I was right in Jamaica.
Oh man. Yo, Andre, are you with us now or what, man? The internet good?
Yeah, I was talking to myself earlier. I heard the question and then my thing started acting up. But you were asking me about family remedies.
Yeah, man. So you started on it. Well, I heard you talking about the ginger and the rum. We heard about that a little bit, but go back and explain it because you were kind of choppy. So are there any remedies that you have that you use for ailments and sicknesses?
Yes, I was saying it was more like a traditional, a cultural thing because we use different things. For example, like even the ginger and you can use the ginger and the rum. You can use the garlic and salt, some boiled water and salt to gargle your throat. When, for example, you feel a ketchup in your throat, you can use the hot water with some salt. You can use the garlic. Also, we have the different bushes you will use to, for example, cleansing, like the cerci you will use for diarrhea or constipation, and any form of belly problem to cleanse you as a kid. You will drink the cerci tea to cleanse worms.
Andre, how do you use that?
The cerci tea, you just pretty much boil it like the regular tea and strain it and just drink it normally. You can sweeten it with sugar if you want, but kind of defeat the purpose if you use the sugar sometimes. So mostly kids, they will normally give the kids the cerci tea like as a cleanser. Yeah, like when you start school to September, so through that whole summer you were eating a lot of mangoes and stuff. They would give you that just before you start back school to give you a new fresh start for the new year. And also have remedies like I already touched the bushes. Even like the busy. I don't know if you guys know it's busy, but it's something to do. For example, if you're poisoned, you get poisoned or so, you can the first thing they'll offer you to drink is drink some busy. So
I don't know what busy. What's in busy? I don't know that one.
It's not say it's like pimento, some small things like pimento, so to speak. Yeah, that's the same thing. You can boil it too and use it, or you can just put it in your food. So that's good for like if you get a cut or a rust nail run inside of your foot or something, a rusty nail, you will drink that right away to kind of prevent any spreading of poison in the body or anything like that. So yeah, we know that remedy.
You ever heard about the noni juice?
Noni, yeah, that's right. Yeah, man, we know about the noni juice too.
Yeah, because noni was another one that's supposed to be an all-purpose elixir that's good for everything.
Everything, yeah, the noni good for everything. Yeah.
You take a teaspoon of that every day for whatever life brings your way.
Like a cleanser. So it
Yeah,
cleanse your urinal tract and all of that stuff. The noonie and stuff, you know.
yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. All right, do
And the
you?
aloe vera. You guys use the aloe vera too?
Yeah. Oh,
That's aloe vera, man. Yeah.
I forgot about the
Yes.
aloe vera. Yeah,
Cinco
For
Bible.
sunburns.
Call it Cinco Bible. Yeah.
yeah,
So
man. I forgot about
again,
that.
can use aloe vera for multiple purpose now. Washing your hair,
Yeah,
scouring with your skin. You can drink it too. Like you just put it inside, you can swallow a piece. Boiling it also, you can boil it also and stuff like that with the aloe vera. So yeah.
I remember growing up too. We always used to have the cod liver oil. That was another thing that we always used to use. Not necessarily for ailments and so forth. We used to have the cod liver
Constipation.
oil all the time.
For constipation.
Well, it wasn't for constipation, man. We took it like it was a vitamin.
Yeah, that's what you probably think, you know. He's not being truthful, guys. Renford is not being truthful. He was constipated. They give him some castor oil and tell him to sit on the
Ren,
toilet.
Yeah, yeah,
Ren,
yeah.
this is a
Get out of
safe,
my
it's a safe space, so you can say it. You can allow, you know.
hey man, hey man. I don't know why you guys are always trying to pick on me. It's just true. I have tough skin, you know. But
Yeah.
it's all right. It's all right because you know I can clap back. So keep messing
Uh,
with me and see what. So Andre, you were talking about the herbs and all of that stuff. So do you think naturopaths or herbalists have not been given a fair chance to kind of show what they're able to do and show their remedies? I'll throw that question to everybody.
Oh, well, it depends on levels to it. For example, maybe in a community base, a small community, maybe you probably know the herbalist doctor or the naturalist doctor may be popular in the community, but it's just on a broader scale and in the sense of being on the TV and more commercialized in that way. You probably don't see um we call it promoters, like the different medias want to use a guy like that, for example, or sponsor him to say, okay, I'm gonna put Renford on my channel to inform people about his techniques. It is inexpensive and everyone can access to it. So in that sense, it's not a big money making thing
Right,
when
right,
we use naturalists versus going to the commercial, like the more pharmaceutical drugs and stuff like that. No, so in a sense now it's like that guy, the herbal doctor, the natural doctor, he can to be is more beneficial because you get that one-on-one interaction with your client. You're about making you want to better them, you want to get them well versus trying to add up the numbers and say, okay, I dealt with 20 patients today, or I sell 20 prescription, or I did 20 prescription today. The pharmaceutical is more business oriented and every business is there to make a money, right? Whereas the
right,
natural doctor will assume is just there to try to get people better.
right. What do you have to say about that, Joe? Naturopaths, herbalists, are they getting a fair shake? What do you know about them? Do you have a opinion? I want to
Well,
hear
I
your
don't really know it like a naturopathic doctor, but I think it's very important that we connect with nature, like everything Andre's talking about. Andre, can you mute your dial-up? I think everything Andre is saying, like everything Andre said, like was all about using nature,
Yeah,
and its natural healing abilities. And I think it's important that we go back to that. You know, I don't know if you've heard of the technique called grounding, just having your feet touch the natural earth and just getting used to having nature in your body. I think we're rushed to use these chemicals and drugs that we're putting in our body. But you know, who knows? Who knows? We'll know in about 10 years the effects of these COVID vaccines and see which side was right.
and I guess it depends on which dose you got too, right?
Yeah.
Let me go to the next question. Are there any medically proven natural remedies that anyone knows of? Are there any medically proven natural remedies? I kind of feel like most remedies, even if they're made in a lab, they come from a natural source to begin with, right? Like they're
That
not
makes sense.
necessarily putting in, these artificial made up components, So I think that pretty much probably all medical. First of all, Let me just, I know the disclaimer might be out there, but we are not medical professionals. We are not speaking for or against the medical profession. Everything that we are saying here tonight is based on our own opinion with our limited experience in the medical field. We have not studied this. So we are not, we're putting that disclaimer to say that the opinions expressed are those solely of the hosts, not that of the chat. We are not pushing Western medical doctrine and medicines. We are not pushing natural. We're just having a conversation.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. If you take our advice seriously, you have a problem and stop watching the show. We are not doctors.
No, man, no. Watch the show.
Watch the
show. Listen to me.
You're going to complain. No. If you think Ren or Joe is a doctor, or Gislin or Andre,
what are you saying with that? What does that mean? Are you saying that I'm not doctor material? I'm not doctor. Like I couldn't be a doctor. You don't know what I do on my own.
No. I didn't say you couldn't be one. I said we're not one.
But you don't know if I am.
Yes, I do. I know you.
Okay.
You win.
You might be a doctor on the black market, man.
I put my cards in. I throw them in. Throw my hands in. Cheryl Arch is up in the chat and saying yes, they do, but they are tampered with. This is relating to the question of, are there any medically proven natural remedies? I'd love to see what her opinion is on how they are tampered with. So if she can just throw us that, educate us a little bit. Let me go on to the next question. Can food heal? You guys believe food can heal?
Oh, definitely. Your stomach has so many micro, I don't know the word because I'm not a doctor, but there's so many like microbes in your stomach.
You know why you're not a doctor? Because I know you, and I know you're not a doctor.
Well, that's not why I'm not a doctor, just because you know me.
Yeah.
I'm not a doctor because I didn't go to medical school.
No, because I know you and you're not a doctor. Carry on.
Yeah, you just derailed me, bro. Like I'm done.
You're talking about the stomach having like microbacteria.
Sure. Yeah, I was reading something that your gut organs is the most important thing for your body health. So if I think of myself, when I feed myself healthy food, I feel better naturally. So I think that, if you eat more healthy food that comes from nature as opposed to processed food, it's just better for you.
Yeah, processed foods are stuff that we actually should be staying away from as much as possible, for sure.
I agree with you guys. I think something else I'm gonna throw in as well is you have to find a balance, and also time to times maybe do some fasting as well, because when you fast, you're not bringing any food to your body, but you're allowing your body to clean itself, right? So, and I've done fasting. I started doing fasting for religion purposes, but after that, sometimes I do fasting, and it allows I've seen my body heal much better, much faster. And also, as Joe said, it's also depend on the food you're eating, right? I know there were days, not days, but years where I did I think there was 1 year I did 2 weeks without eating meat. It was just, I was kind of like full vegan.
How do you feel?
It was horrible at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I was craving for meat.
Right.
The first 3 days was horrible, but then I got used to it, and I felt, I don't know, for some reason I felt like I was sharp. My body was good, and I was working on it at the same time. So it was very interesting to do.
Has anyone seen that movie, The Game Changers? I think it was on Netflix, Game Changers.
Yes, the documentary
right.
about the athletes. Yes.
Yeah, you hearing me?
Yeah, we can, Andre. You're loud though, son. You are loud. Yeah, but that Game Changers was talking about kind of having a meatless diet, right? And everything that we need for proteins we can get from the earth and whatnot. And they're just talking about the energy and how the body just reacts to it. Yeah. Do you have any examples of foods that are proven to heal?
I wouldn't say heal, but I think there's a lot of things in food that are preventative. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of spices that people use that help correct things. I mean, I can't go deep into that because I don't really follow it, but I know that like turmeric is really good for you. Cumin, I don't know exactly what they do, but I try to incorporate those in my diet because I know it's good for me.
Right, right.
I mean, there's olive oil. You know, there's fruits. I mean, if you eat fruits, they help a lot. So, you know, you have a lot. You have a lot of them.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I have Andre, are you still with us or what's the deal, man? Because we got people talking about you in the chat, man. Okay, so for the next session, the next show, we're gonna get make sure that Andre has a better internet provider. We're gonna pool our resources and our monies together. But I have a list of a bunch of foods here that help the body naturally detox, and you know, ginger is on that list. Limes, broccoli sprouts, grapefruit. Joe, you spoke about the turmeric, leafy greens, spirulina. You know, chlorella. So there's a bunch of stuff out here too, right? So there's so many natural things that I think we just take for granted because food has been marketed to us in such a way, and we don't necessarily look for like what the healthy aspects of them are. But Andre, man, I want to see if you're with us because somebody's telling me that you have firsthand knowledge and information on natural remedies because your mama is a recipient. So talk to me about that. All right, man. We're gonna have to bounce off of some Andre tonight, man. So, do you, gentlemen, do you think there's a natural remedy for everything, or do we need pharmaceutical drugs and aspects and products in order to seek remedies for our ailments?
I think
That's,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, Justin.
No, I was going to say, I think there's remedy for not everything, but most of the thing. It's just that we need to, the same way we spend a lot of money. I wouldn't say we spend, but the same way we give a lot of money into donation to, you know, I wouldn't say to pharmacies. I think we also need to spend a lot of money into natural medicines so they can actually explore, they can learn better how to apply some of the, you know, the natural medicine they have to our body. But I think yeah, you can use the traditional medicines to a lot of things. Like I was thinking about actually right now acupuncture. You know, sometimes acupuncture works better than going to a chiro, or not even going to a chiro, but sometimes it works better than having some like, you know, going to get some drugs, right? Because you can pinpoint the pain that you have, and acupuncture is actually a traditional medicine.
Right, right. That's so true. Very true. Joe, you were going to say something on this topic.
Can you ask me the question again?
I was asking you, do you think that there is a natural remedy for everything?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because Gislin was going on there. Um, I I kind of agree with him. I think that most things can be naturally healed. I think there's a big power in breathing and cold therapy that could heal a lot of ailments that we have. I started doing some research with a doctor by the name of Dr. Joe Dispenza, who really talks about like breath work and healing through like conscious awareness to like the injured parts. He like, you know, you hear the people who are never supposed to walk again and all these little situations, but they pull themselves out of that. So I think like that goes hand in hand with your food, you know, your health, your connection with the earth and the food you're eating. And I think that you can definitely heal a lot of things. I think sometimes we're pushed to these medicines because they're making money. And you know, you're telling me like we've been doing cancer and AIDS research since I remember, since I can remember, since I was a little kid. And like, is cancer mutating that much that we can't figure out how to heal cancer, or is it just they make more money off treating cancer than they do off healing cancer? You know,
That's an interesting point.
and I'm going to take a huge pivot right now, but youth, I think COVID has really opened up some of the inequalities that we have going on throughout the world, and if you're looking at an education level, I'm at work right now, we're talking with a lot of teachers, and they're saying like some of these kids in unfortunate situations who are dealing with trying to go to school and having siblings in the class in their home while they're trying to learn. Like there's these inequalities that don't need to be there, like running water in indigenous communities. Like why is that happening right now?
Yeah.
I mean, we're like we need to talk about situations like that where we're diving into helping people just with basic human needs. That's what needs to happen. Everyone needs the right for running water and food, and we're not providing that. When we're funding wars, and we're arming countries to fight against each other that we profit from. Like that's not what we need to be doing right now. And I really hope that, like, the one thing about this generation that's coming up is that, I don't totally agree with cancel culture and then the stuff that's going on. I think people make mistakes, and some people need to, be able to not repair, but like come back from that. We're going to make mistakes. We might say something on this show. It doesn't mean that, we should change our lives 20 years down the road because something that happened on Join the Chat when we were 40 years old. Like I'll be a different person at 60 than I am now at 40. Mm-hmm. But like, I think that we're so connected now, and the technology that's going on is going to connect us more and more and more, and people are going to be exposed. And when I say people, I mean people making these decisions. We can only hide behind these decisions so long before they start coming to light, and people are going to be held responsible for their decisions, and we'll see how that plays out. And I think it needs to happen sooner than later.
Yeah, you touch on a great point when you're talking about just the disparities between, countries and stuff like this, and not even just countries, within the countries, right? Within the city, and the haves and the have-nots. As you were saying that, it just reminded me of that Tupac song. We got money for wars, but we can't feed the poor. Yeah. All these restaurants were throwing out food on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And somebody could really use that, right? Or you think about Flint, Michigan, and they have that water crisis. And their water is polluted, and all these things that there has to be a remedy for it. We kind of digress, but it's a good segue into the next question. Because is Western medicine an easy way out to avoid changing your lifestyle, and just depending on these remedies, going to the pharmacy and picking up something over the counter? Is it easier to go and get the pharmaceutical Western medicine, or change your lifestyle? Do you think getting that medicine is an easy way out?
It's the quick fix. Like I want a 6-pack, but I'm not. I don't want to work out and eat healthy. I want to go get surgery. I want all these things, and I want it now. I need it faster. I need more and more and more. The term of keeping up with the Joneses. I think you're 100% right.
What about you, Giselle? What do you think?
So I agree with Joe. I mean, it's not even just like, even like if let's say I don't feel I cannot be feeling mentally there. I can just go to the counter and get some medicines, and I'm good to go. I get some drugs instead of like maybe facing, I wouldn't say my demons, but facing some of the real issues that we have that I might actually have. I would let me just get some drugs and then and go on. And that's why you were saying before COVID, Canada was actually facing not even Canada, North America was facing a lot of there was a huge opioid crisis.
Yeah, during the pandemic.
This thing that I'm scared of right now is we're starting to talk about it. Then COVID came in, and once COVID goes away, I'm pretty sure the opioid crisis is gonna be tenfold higher.
Well, I think it was actually higher during the pandemic.
It was higher, but now it's gonna be worse because there are some people during the COVID that that went through some mental issues, right? Because they were alone. So now you will see a lot of people. I don't know. It's like I call it like when there's a hurricane. The hurricane comes in, but when the water wash away, that's when you see the real devastation. So, and I think like the opioid crisis is gonna be 10 times, even 20 times worse than before COVID. So yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I feel you on that. I feel you on that for sure. Cheryl Archer is in the chat saying that there's a benefit in natural remedies for every ailment: ginger, garlic, turmeric, water, sunlight. Sunlight's another one. That vitamin D, rest, faith in God. These are super, man.
Amen. I agree with Cheryl.
Yeah,
I agree with her.
I agree so much too. You know, so
There's
we were talking
Sorry,
about
Ryan.
medicine
Sorry,
being the
Ryan.
easy way out. You know, sometimes I'm looking at these commercials when they're talking about certain medications, and then they're like, "Don't take this if you have this, and this, and it may have
the
side effects, this, and this, and if you start
death.
experiencing this." And this and this and this, consult your doctor immediately. And you know, you look at it and it's just like, what was the point of me even
Yeah.
trying to take this thing?
If you have a runny nose, try this spray. Might cause anal leakage and death. You're like, whoa, I'll just take the runny nose.
Yeah, I'll buy some Kleenex, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jeez.
no doubt, no doubt. So let me go to the next question. Do you believe that there is anything that Western medicine cannot remedy? I feel like I know the answers to some of these, but I'm asking it still. Is there anything that Western medicine cannot remedy?
I don't really know, to be honest. A broken heart.
That's
I
what I
mean,
said.
you have Tinder, so you just go on Tinder.
I've never had in my life.
He's married happily with children, just like, what are you trying to do to him?
I didn't say him. I was like
Oh,
overall.
He wasn't saying me. He was just saying in general.
Okay.
If
In
you have a
general.
broken heart, go on
My bad,
Tinder.
Yeah.
my bad. You know, I would have to believe that there's things that Western medicine cannot remedy. What they are specifically, I don't know off the top of my head, but I think science is always evolving, right? Like it's an aspect of discovery. So they don't know every single working part of our body yet, right? So how can there be a remedy for everything? And I think sometimes naturally, sometimes your body is just telling you need rest, man. Just sleep, relax.
Yeah.
You know, like take it easy. Stop everything that you were doing before. Just stop doing it.
I think the question, I will flip the question and say and ask what. Okay, sorry. There are some. I wouldn't ask a question, but I would say there are some diseases the Western medicine wouldn't heal because they don't want to, and it's not affecting their population. Example, I was talking about malaria, right?
Yeah.
As long as we have mosquitoes, they're not bringing in malaria here in the Western, they won't get bothered, right? Because people who are getting killed by malaria, they are in the subtropics, Africa, Asia, and you see. So it's as long as I mean, if it doesn't affect them, they won't try to find a remedy for it.
That's what you're saying. So they
And
don't.
the first thing is a history bit here. When the Canal Rideau was being built, I think around between 20 and 1930, there was a huge malaria pandemic because they were bringing like Indian workers from India, and some of them were sick already with malaria, and they had to try to find a remedy for that. And also, Ottawa is kind of like a valley. When it's in a valley, you have a lot of like malaria that can spread. But they had to find a way. They really work hard on that. So you can see that when it's affecting our I'll say our homes here, they will try to find a remedy. They'll
Seek a
try,
remedy, right?
yeah, a cure. But when it's away,
As long as the problem's not in their backyard, it's not a
there
concern.
we go. So yeah.
I get you. Are there tests for Western medicines more reliable than taking a chance on natural remedies?
Depends what you have. Like if you have cancer, you might not want to just try a try a holistic medicine. But if you have a runny nose and you don't, or you're sick and you don't want to put medication in your body, that's a different story. I think it really depends on the diagnosis for me.
Okay. But I think, what about the testing though? Is the testing reliable?
Which testing?
The way that Western medicine is tested itself. Do you know if it's reliable? Do you think it's reliable? See, I don't know, right? I haven't studied it, so I don't know what tests they go through. I don't know how many vetting processes they go through. I don't know how many samples they use. I don't know what they're testing it on to then have it be safe for humans. You know what I mean? So I really don't know.
I would say it's reliable because it's a very rigorous process before they can release a drug on the market. So they have to, and I think that there are some websites when you go on on those websites, you can actually check the testing that was done on the guinea pigs or whoever that got tested, and they go through different stages. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna create this medicine, this cure, and then go on one stage. They go through a lot of stages before even the
Right.
drug can actually. Some drugs actually take 10 years before they are even released on the market. So I think the testing is there. Is really, it's kind of like reliable. Um, yeah, I think it's right. I could say because the different governments also put so many roadblocks before they even like allow you to go there. Um, for the vaccines, I'll let Joe talk about it.
Well, you're throwing it to me like you said it like you have
I
this
mean,
big thing to say, and then you toss it to Joe like you guys have some type of plans. But let me hear what Joe has to say about this.
I'll
Go
come back. I'll come back on it later.
You're throwing it at Joe like that. I got your back, Joe. I'm here for you.
What's the
Okay,
question
yeah.
on vaccines, though?
I don't know. It just started talking, and then you just slid it to you.
Well, I think
Oh,
I
I
was thinking
mean,
about the COVID vaccine. So yeah.
yeah, I think everyone is entitled to their choice. There he is. Welcome back.
You guys sent
Brian,
you guys sent me to do a coffee run, I guess.
We're just saying goodbye now.
Oh my days. I want to apologize to all my viewers and to all my colleagues. I'm very sorry. The internet was bad. The laptop was broken at the last minute today, and
Hey, yo, man, you don't have to explain all of that. So, talk to us about this topic: natural remedies, Western medicine. Is there anything that you want to say? Don't even no specific question. What is your take? What do you have to say about this topic?
to be honest, what I have to say earlier, I was talking to my wife, and she was saying that she's of the belief that the food that we're eating nowadays in Canada here, and all the medication that we get prescribed, she's of the belief that there's something inside the food and the medicine being prescribed for our bodies not to react to the natural treatment. So, for example, what she's saying, like, so if we should be eating like even the fruits here, she's like, you have seedless grapes, seedless apples, like,
Right.
how is that possible? So she
Yeah, the
questioned
GMOs.
and stuff like that. She questioned stuff like that. Even with the color of the orange of the beach. She was watching a documentary because she does human rights and stuff. So she was saying even the oranges, they go out of their way to depict the orange as very orangey looking. The apples are very red, like they're more
Yeah, they shine.
coloring than the actual substance. So she was saying that we are automatically at a disadvantage. So she's basically trying to say there's certain advantage being based on location. So based on your location, sometimes you will get more natural food from the earth, more natural food from the environment, right?
True.
Versus where we're at. So she's saying so location have something to do with it. But nonetheless, I think it's best to still try at least use them. For example, do your steaming, do your own remedies like with your steaming, boiling your ginger, your garlic together, your orange peel, like the skin of the orange, or the skin of the lemon or lime, that's for the citrus. Just boil it in the water, inhale it to open your, I don't know the word is pancreas, open your glands and and all your breathing space. You can use that just for anything in the morning, just normally to do break down any bacteria in your nose and stuff like that. So
And
that's
what would that help? So as they're breaking down these citrus skins, what does that help? You're saying it's breaking down the bacteria in the noses and stuff
because
like that. But
it
what
helps
does it do?
it help with the breathing against any not like cold may occur or any what's the word I'm looking for? It's mostly in terms of your breathing or make you become vulnerable when you go outside, for example, in the cold air and stuff like that. It's like you're prepping yourself, basically. It's like a little mini cleansing. It's more precautionary measures than than to prevent something from occurring, really. You know, when they do that one with the steaming. So that's the ginger, garlic, and the citrus peeling, like whether it's a lime skin or the orange skin, you can do that in the morning time. Um, but overall, my take on it is I wish I have access to those natural remedies because again, it's nature. I'm not worried it was a man-made. There's no tampering with it, so I feel safer using that one. And the fear with the prescription is just that I just always have to view that for every prescription you get, it's gonna do something to some other part in your body. So you mean for your headache, it's damaging something else, whether it's inside of your lungs or so. That's just my view of it. So I that's my problem with the prescription drugs. But overall, I'm a natural remedy person. I've never really been sick. I've never had any chronic sickness like that. I was constipated once, and
Once in your life? Lies.
yeah, I was constipated once. Couldn't use the toilet at all for a couple of days, and the castor oil came in very handy along with some cake soap.
Oh man. Cool, let me watch your face with the cake soap.
Yeah, well, I was washing my face with the cake soap. I was getting where no sun don't shine, you know what I mean? And it worked, guys. It worked. My grandmother did that.
Yeah, man, everything loose up, eh?
Everything, brother, I tell you, up to this date, I've never been constipated after ever since. Never. One work magic.
Oh man, yeah, you got the plumber snake.
Trust me, that one they break a plug that time, you know, unclog everything. But yeah, so natural work, man, do work.
Let me throw this one at Joe real quick. If you had the chance to choose medication or lifestyle change, which one are you choosing and why?
Oh, lifestyle change for sure.
Why?
Why not?
Why?
Well, if I'm going to take a pill and get everything I want, I might take a pill real quick. But like realistically, you're just going to continuously be on medication if you don't change your lifestyle to make it better.
Crazy. I asked you that first because I know you've always been speaking about lifestyle change, and especially in this last year and a half, right? You've really been pushing that. You know, get out, change your lifestyle, change your routine. You know, really be perspective on the things that you're doing, things that you're not doing. Be one with your body, understand your body. So, you know, that's why I threw it at you first. It was kind of a trick question. Okay, you were expanding a little bit more.
Who?
Joe.
Oh.
I was?
You kind of were. I saw your lips moving. Maybe that's just me. Ghislaine, what about you? Given the chance of medications or a lifestyle change, which one are you choosing and why?
Lifestyle, man. Lifestyle. Because it's lifestyle. And I will have to choose my lifestyle properly. I mean, real good. Because if I don't choose a good lifestyle, I'm gonna end up on medication. So, you know, my lifestyle will dictate what's gonna happen in my future, and if I'm gonna end up like being on medication. So it's gonna be lifestyle. As long as my lifestyle includes this kind of medicine, so I'm good.
Yeah, and Ren, you have children too, so I think like
child, man. I don't know why you keep saying
He's on Maury right now. Maury show.
Joe, you started off the show saying that you know me, so anything that you say about me, people are gonna take as fact. Child.
You are not the father. I told you. Yeah, I'm guilty. I love that show. Yeah, I think like, you know, as a father, you're getting older. You think, for me, I think like my kids are this age, you know, they're 2, 4, and 15. And I really want to be around for them until they're at least adults. So, you know, if I can double up and get to 80, my kids will be 40 before I pass. You know, I think like that. And in order to get to that and have a quality of life, it's not about money or anything like that. It's about how healthy are you?
Yeah.
How much time can you invest? Can you get on the floor and play with your children? Can you run around the park with them? And that's where like a big change for me. I was 260 pounds at one point about a year and a half ago. And I was like, okay, that's not going to help. 260 pounds, smoking, and just going the wrong way with my lifestyle choices, and that's why this change has come about. And so like when you take a medication, I'm on thanks, Cheryl, I appreciate that. Andre, you seem offended. taking my fans away, and
No,
one team, one dream, my friend, man.
Andre, that's what happens when you have a bad connection, man.
Yeah. Are you losing fans on your podcast? Get 5G internet. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Sorry, to end off my point, it's you don't want to be taking this medicine because there's no end to the medicine. If you lead a healthy lifestyle and you make those changes on a consistent basis, and sometimes we're for myself, I'm very hard on myself. If I miss working out for a couple days or a week, I'm mad or something like that, then you have to realize like it's not short term, it really is long term. So over a year, if you can work out 8 months out of the year, that's pretty good. That's one, it's missing 1 out of 4 every 4 days, if you think of it like that. And we have to build these things in and limit the distractions around us. So one thing that COVID's taught me is limit the time you're giving away to people that don't need it or to things that don't need it, like TV especially.
Preserve the energy, channel your energy properly.
What about you?
And you know what I realized too, the natural remedies is like an extension of us, or we're an extension of the natural remedies that we use because we're all from the dirt and stuff. So I think the natural remedies will tend to work on our body in our I want to use in our organic way, because we are an extension of it, versus where when you use the pharmaceuticals, they have their addictive and stuff to it, so our body don't naturally react to it. So I think
is it me freezing or is it them?
more side effects will come from the pharmaceutical versus like you, for example, using I want to use a fever grass versus using the mint bush. Say for example you make a mistake and use that. Yeah, what could actually happen in the side effect? It probably tastes different, probably have a bitter taste, something of that sort, or maybe cause couple reaction, maybe a pimple or something. But with the pharmaceutical, for example, you make a mistake, the mistake can be more severe or lethal. Where you take the Advil instead of taking that thing antibiotic, for example. The side effects can be way more severe, and then it lead to where you go to the doctor try to give you another medication for that, and then it lead to a domino effect. Whereas with, as I say again, with the natural remedies, the more the one of the worst thing that could probably happen is just probably the taste is uncomfortable or something of that sort, or quickly, So I think that's one of the pro and the con with the natural versus the pharmaceutical ones.
Yeah, I totally agree with all of y'all. Like, medications are one thing. I don't think it should ever be the primary go-to. There's so many other things that you can do before that, lifestyle change, even just preparing your life, taking the vitamins, getting proper rest, limiting just limiting all of the sugars that we're putting into our systems, the salts, right? Being conscious of the foods that we're eating, what we're intaking is very important. And again, like I said, exercise, just being physically healthy is really important, right? And will help us get away from being sick. And then sometimes, again, it's just listening to the body. Sometimes we need to just rest, relax, and be done with the hustle and bustle of life. Any final things that anyone wants to say about this tonight? Natural. It looks like it almost seems like all of us are kind of on that natural remedy path more than just jumping into the medications.
I have a wild question for you guys.
Yeah.
Perfumes, fragrances, do you feel they are natural medicines because when you put the perfume, I mean, the way they are made out of like natural things, right? And when you put your perfume on, your fragrance, your cologne, you feel better, you feel good, you feel like, and then it works in your mental. So would we put that as a natural medication?
Do you really feel that you feel better when you put on your colognes and your perfumes, Ghislaine? Or is it,
I'm asking a question, Rand. Don't do this. I'm gonna answer after.
Let's try to guess what cologne everyone wears.
Hey, I can say, but
well, I think the whole thing with the clones, right? The clones are an artificial way of trying to create pheromones, right? We're all born with natural pheromones and give off a certain odor, and when we go back to nature and trying to attract the opposite species or whatnot, the pheromones are one of the things that attracts the others. So, in terms of the perfumes and the colognes and making you feel better, I don't know about all of that. I think they might be crafted in a way out of natural substances or whatnot, but I don't think it makes you feel better. I think psychologically you feel better because you smell good or whatnot.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the cologne makes me feel better, but I think natural sense of other things. Do you know what I mean? I think that's why we have aromatherapy and stuff like that. I wouldn't say like my bottle of Old Spice back in high school, or I never actually had Old Spice, but uh, Givenchy. I don't think that makes me feel better when I put it on, but I think like, smelling lavender or smelling, vanilla in the house. And I think even when you get it more naturally, it has a little more effect on you. But I do think it can heal you. I also think like some certain smells remind you of things that make you feel
Right.
better, or it could have the opposite effect too. It could bring back a nasty memory. Great question, Giseline.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. What
Or
about
For
Google.
you?
me, Jason, pretty much like what Joe and Ren was saying. It doesn't necessarily make you feel better. For that immediate 5 second, probably a spirit, you're probably like, yeah, am I gonna get a compliment? Then after that, it's like, yeah, whatever. You just gone back into your normal self. But overall, I think what you're trying to get at, Gislin is just that you're probably thinking, okay, it's basically the same because I visited the doctor today and he gave me a prescription. I already automatically feel like, yeah, in my head there's something. I feel better because I saw a doctor. And with the natural remedies, because I drink the ginger tea, you're gonna think, yes, I think that gas pain is gone. Maybe it's not that, but it can go both ways depending on the individual. Again, it depends on what rock your boat. Because you could be sick for 3 weeks, you see the doctor today, and you feel better right away, right? But at the end of the day, for me, nah, I normally use my remedies, and I definitely feel better, man. To be honest with you, I don't visit the doctor. The doctor hate me. I don't pay him any money. I don't use the free healthcare system here. Unless I just want to do a checkup back in the day before I met Esther when I used to regular random checks. But other than that, doctor ain't see me until I'm dead, my boy.
Ghislaine, so
Yeah.
answer your question, man.
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I mentioned about perfumes, but I think, as Joe said, it's more about like aromatherapy, right? So it doesn't make you feel well. I mean, good, but it helps your mood. It helps your mood, and there's some like as Joe said and Andre, there are some smells that you get, and it reminds you of a good thing, or it could be like a bad thing as well, right? And there are even some, and he mentioned about lavender, and when he mentioned about lavender, like the thing that came to my mind was like, when you um washing your clothes, check those detergents that we're using. They're always good. I mean, they're smelling good. There's like that good smelling, and then when you have those fresh shits on your bed, it's like, oh my god, this is amazing, right? So we can't lie. There's aromatherapy works a lot. So
Oh,
yeah.
for sure, for sure, for
So,
sure. I get you. And Dream Beer Burrell is saying the same thing. Lavender, cinnamon, vanilla definitely makes me feel better as
yeah,
well.
there we
Right?
go.
It's true, and they have those oils and all that stuff. So
Even
you're
burning those scented candles,
yeah, the incense and stuff too.
incense. Yeah, it's crazy. It's beautiful. I mean, it's good, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man. Well, gentlemen, this has been another topic that we're on. We're joining the chat. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe and comment on our YouTube channel. Join the chat. Ghislaine is here with us. Joe is here with us. Any last things that y'all want to say about natural versus Western medicine or anything in general?
Anything general.
Do you. Do what's best for you. Don't listen to us. We're not doctors, but we love you. Thanks for joining us.
We're not doctors, but come back on for the next episode. And thanks for always tuning with us. And yeah, and get vaccinated, by the way, if you haven't had your first dose. And one more thing. Tomorrow, Friday, for people who live in Ottawa, Ontario, enjoy.
Or don't get vaccinated. It's your choice.
Here we go. That too.
Get vaccinated or don't get vaccinated.
Well,
Make an informed decision that's best for you and your family.
And that's what I was going to leave everything off with tonight. At the end of the day, whether we're dealing with natural remedies, whether we're dealing with Western medicine and pharmaceutical remedies, do your research, get your education, make an informed, educated decision, ask as many questions as you can, get second and third opinions. Don't just rely on the first thing that you've heard or have seen. And again, do what is best for you, because everybody is different. Everyone has different makeups, different ailments, and their bodies respond differently. This is Join the Chat, the place where every single voice matters, where your opinions are important, where you are empowered to express yourself, and we try to give you a free and open space to speak and also be heard. If you like what we are doing, follow us, join us, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. This is Join the Chat. Change your lifestyles. Change your lifestyle.
For the
Drink
better.
a lot of water.
Drink water, get a lot of vitamin D, get a lot of rest, and it is what it is. I am Renford Mr. Bojangles. On behalf of Joe, Ghislaine, and Andre with his poor internet connection, we sign off. This is Join the Chat. We will see you in a couple of weeks. And Miss Fabulosity should be back. One love, y'all.